Hello YouTubers, welcome to another amazing video, and in this particular video we're going to take a look at how to build a very simple and basic navbar. So navbars are widely used. Almost any website that you visit on the internet, you definitely are likely going to see a navbar. So today we're going to take a look at how a navbar is built using purely HTML and CSS. So as you can see on my screen, I have Sublime Text opened and I have a very empty HTML file. Now I'm going to be using embedded CSS. So if you don't know what embedded CSS is, I believe I have a video on it, so you can check among my videos. I believe I have a video on 3 different ways that CSS can be used inside HTML. So now that I've gotten this out of the way, I also want to add that this particular video is meant for beginners and not for advanced web developers. So let's get into how to build a navbar. So now I'm going to start off by generating a very basic HTML boiler template, and I'm going to do that using Emmet. So I'm going to have an exclamation sign and then I'll tab, and as you can see, Emmet has generated a very basic HTML boiler template for me. Now the first thing I'm going to do to this template is to change the title. So I'll go here, and the title we want to give to this project is going to be navbar. So let's save all of this, and then we're going to go to the browser and preview what we've done so far. So as we can see, I have Firefox opened, and I'm going to reload this, and now you can see that this tab has a title of navbar. So that's the project we are working on. Now let's head over to Sublime Text. So inside the body tag, we are basically going to have a div which is going to have a class of navbar, and inside that div we are going to have another div which will have a class of container, and the div inside the div with a class of container will contain 2 more divs. The first div will have a class of brand name, and the second div will have a class of navlinks. So let's go ahead and create that. So first of all, I'm going to have a div with a class of navbar, and inside here I'm going to have another div with a class of container. So inside here we're supposed to have 2 divs. The first one will have a class of brand name, and then inside this brand name we are just going to have a very basic company name. Could be a brand name or a company name, any name you want to put in there. So I'm just going to say company name. Then we are going to have the second div which will have a class of navlinks. Now inside this div with a class of navlinks, we are going to have an unordered list which will have 3 list items, and inside each list item we are going to have an anchor tag. So we are going to have ul, li, and we're going to generate 3 of them using Emmet. So the first list item will have an anchor tag. In fact, all of them will have anchor tags. So we are not going to navigate to any URL, so we can put in the hashtag. Then we go to the second list item. We can also have the hash sign because we wouldn't be navigating to any particular link. Then we go to the third list item, which will also have the hash sign. So inside our first anchor tag, we are going to put in the name about us. Then the second anchor tag will have the name services. Then in the third anchor tag, we are going to have contact us. So let's save all of this, and we are going to preview our browser and reload it. So we can see we have our company name, and then we have our 3 navlink items. So let's go back to Sublime Text, and now that we are here, we are basically going to start off with our styling. So I'm going to go into my head tag and below the title tag, and I'm going to have a new tag which is going to have the name of style. So this is where I'm going to write all my CSS rules. So the first rule we are going to write is a rule that will apply to everything within our page. So we are basically going to reset the default browser behavior, and we're going to do that with the star, and we are going to set the margin to 0 pixels, and we are also going to set our padding to 0 pixels. And then let's save all of this, go back to our browser and reload, and you can see the whole page has been reset, and that's what we want. Let's go back to Sublime Text. And so the next style we are going to apply is basically going to be related to our div with a class of Navbar. So we are going to give it a background of a grayish color and also a padding around it. So let's go, and we are going to have a class of Navbar, and it is going to have a background color of, let's go for DDDDD, and we save all this, go back to our browser, reload. So we can see we have a grayish background. So let's go back to Sublime Text and let's continue with our styling. So next we are going to have a padding of, let's go with 10 pixels, save, and then that will just be it for now. Let's go back to our browser, reload, and you can see we have a padding around it. Back to Sublime Text, and now we are going to style our container, the div with a class of container. So we target the div with a class of container, and we are going to give it a width of 80%, and we're also going to give it a margin of 0 pixels for top and bottom, and then auto for the left and right. So let's save all of this, go back, reload, and you can see everything is centered. So when I shift our nav links to the right hand side, you see the effect of what we've just done now. So let's go back and continue the styling. Now the next thing we are going to do is to apply some styling to the brand name, and basically what we're going to do there is to bolden the text there a bit. So I'm going to target my div with a class of brand name, and we are basically going to set the font weight of it to bold. Let's save all of this, go back to our browser, reload, and we can see now the company name is boldened. Let's continue the styling. So the next thing we are going to do is to target our nav link items. So this one, so we're going to have a class of nav links, and for now let's target only that div. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply say text align to the right hand side. Let's save this, go back, reload, and we can see that our nav link items are now on the right hand side. Let's move on. So the next thing we are going to target, or the next element we are going to target, is our li tags. So we are going to basically remove the bullets by them. So let's go back here, and I'm going to target my nav links, and inside there I have a UL tag. Inside the UL tag I have li tags, and those are the ones we are going to target now. So I'm basically going to say list, and we are searching for style, should be set to none. Let's save this, go back to the browser, reload, and we can see that our bullets are gone. Let's continue. So now let's add another rule that will basically display the items horizontally, and the way we do this is to say display should be equal to inline. So inline block. Let's save all of this, and then I'm also going to add a padding. So padding left should be 10 pixels. Save all of this, go back, reload, and as we can see we have it there. So what we're going to do next is, I left out something. We should have used CSS grid, because now what is happening is that the company name is displayed on one line and the nav link items are also displayed on a different line altogether. But what we want to do is we want the company name and the nav link items to be on the same line. So the way we'll do that is with CSS grid. So let's go back to the text editor and go back to our container here, and we are going to say display, and we are going to display grid. Then we come down and say grid template columns, and we want our brand name column to have a max width of 150 pixels, and whatever is left we want to assign it to our nav link item. So I'll say auto. So let's save all of this, reload our browser again, and now everything is displayed on one line. So now let's take out the underlining of our anchor tags, and we are basically going to target our anchor tag. So I'll say div with a class of nav links, and in there we have a UL tag. Inside the UL tag we have an li tag, and in the li tag we have our anchor tags. So here I'm going to say text. So text decoration, we want to set it to none and save. Go back, reload, and you can see our decorations are gone. So the next thing we are going to apply there is to add a style that will simply change the color from kind of violet to black. And then we are going to add some hover and active events. So let's go here and we're going to say the color should be black. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Save and reload, and you can see that the text color of our anchor tags are now blackened up. So next we are going to add 2 more rules, and it's basically going to be the same. So I'm going to copy this and paste it below, and I'm going to paste another copy here. Now let's take out all of this, and we're going to have a color of, let's go with blue, which is crazy by the way, but just for demonstration purposes. So blue, and inside here after the a tag we are going to have hover, meaning anytime we move our mouse pointer on it, we want the color blue be applied instead of the black. Now apart from that, let's go back to this portion here, and I'm going to add a cursor of pointer so that anytime we hover on it, we'll get a pointing finger or a pointing hand. So that is our hover event. We have the color blue. Now we don't want it to be a hard change from black to blue, so we are going to apply a transition. So I'm going to say transition, and basically we are going to transition a color, and we are going to use a certain method for a transition. So it's going to be ease, and then the timing is going to be 0.2 seconds. Let's save all of this. Then now we go to this portion here, and that's where I'm going to add my active event. So anytime you click on the nav link and you don't release your left mouse button, this is where this particular style is going to kick in. So I'm going to take out all of this, we don't need it, and then I'm going to change the color from black to say red. I know this is bad styling, but I just wanted to get the idea. So let's save all of this, go back to the browser, reload, and so now when I hover on any of the nav link items, you can see that they turn blue, and once I click and hold the left mouse button, they turn red. So those were the 2 last events I applied. So you can see on hover the text is blue. When it is not hovered on, it is black. When it is active, meaning I've clicked on it, then it turns red. Now finally we are going to apply a border to the navbar, and we do that by going to our div with the class of navbar here. So border top should be 2 pixels, solid, and let's make it black. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Save our work, go back to the browser, reload, and we can see that our border has been applied. Now it looks like our padding isn't that enough, so I'm going to bump it up from 10 to, let's go 20. So I am going to go down here, and instead of the 10, let's go 20. Save, go back, reload. So I think now it looks better. Now let me maximize my browser so that we'll see what we've achieved. So now this is what we have. We have a company name, and we have the about us, services, contact us. Now you can add more nav link items if you want to. And so below here is where you can have your jumbotron, you can have your about us text, and you can have your services and all that. So this is how easy it is to build a navbar. And so if you enjoyed this video, I urge you to click on the subscribe button so that you'll be notified once I drop new videos. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next one.